So in previous class, we started JavaScript and we are trying to working on different kind of JavaScript predefined methods, right? So let me try to open JavaScript folder. So I'm just closing these things now. And I will upload all the files after this session and you can do practice well. And previously we done with alert box and we done with the prompt message and we done with the document.write also. Am I right? So let me go with the notes. So alert message and prompt message both are working from the browser, and console.log is browser back, document.write is browser front. So console.log is basically using for track the issues, track the errors and all. Whenever you got the error, whenever you got the issue, it is going to be finding out and it is going to be checking out, and you can able to resolve the errors also from the console.log. And document.write is the top output where you can able to create with the multiple dynamic HTML using by the JavaScript. You can able to create a dynamic HTML using by the JavaScript. So that is one thing. And now let us try to working with the some other things in the JavaScript. What is the DOM architecture? DOM architecture. Coming to the DOM architecture, DOM is nothing but document object model. DOM is nothing but document object model. So something like this, document object model. Okay. So what is basically document is? Document is HTML in case of JavaScript. In case of JavaScript, document is HTML. Document is HTML in case of JavaScript. Next, one more thing. Object. Everything is an object in JavaScript. Every component is object in JavaScript. Okay, so you may have elements, all your elements, and your window, and your browser. Everything is an object. Okay, I will show later when you are working with the elements, when you are working with the window, when you are working with the browser, all these things are basically elements. All these things are basically objects. And coming to the model is something like a data. Model is something like a business where you can able to see the content. All these things is model. So let me try to draw the picture for the DOM architecture. Let me go and try to picturize the things. For example, imagine this is a browser. Imagine this is a browser. Okay, so just rotating this. This is the browser. On top of the browser, you will be having a window. On top of the browser, you will be having the window, but window is not visible element. Window is not visible element. Remember it. Window is not visible element. Let me try to take a window here. This is not visible element for us. On top of the window, you will be having document. On top of the window only, we are having document. But document is visible element. So you can able to see the content on top of the document. I can able to see a paragraph. I can able to see a forms. I can able to see a tables. All these things are basically browser level. So browser level on top of the document level. So like a document here. So I'm sharing the content inside the JavaScript. This is a DOM architecture. Is it visible now? This is document. So on top of the document, maybe you will be having the header part, and you'll be having the sidebar. You will be having the right bar, right content, whatever it may be. All these things are basically elements. On top of the document, you will be having multiple elements. See, for example, when you want to understand the structure, you may understand the structure browser in the top level. On top of the level, you will be having the browser. Imagine this is the browser. On top of the browser, you will be having the window. On top of the window, you will be having a document. On top of the document, you may have multiple elements. On top of the document, you may have multiple elements. For example, there is a head part, there is a body part. Inside the body part, you will be having multiple other elements also. Inside the body part, you will be having multiple other elements also. This is something like a DOM architecture. On top of the browser, window is available. On top of the window, document is available. On top of the document, you will be having the multiple elements. This is the DOM architecture. So let's try to check with the pictures. If you want, you can check with the pictures in the browser. So let me go DOM architecture images, JavaScript. I am searching for DOM architecture inside the JavaScript. When you search for images here, and you will be finding a lot of images, and those images are going to be giving you a very clear picture. On top of the document, you will be having the multiple elements, right? So you may have a clear picture for that. Little bit extended picture. Let me go. Let me go with this picture. This picture is there. Save images. Down. Is it visible? On top level, you will be having the window, right? On top level, you will be having the window. On top of the window, you will be having a document. On top of the document, you will be having the multiple elements. But on top of the window, not only the document, on top of the window, you may have self, window, present, top, window objects. There are multiple kind of window objects are there. On top of the window, only document object is available. Everything is object, I told you. Everything is object in case of JavaScript. On top of the window, you will be having window level objects. On top of the window, you will be having document level objects. On top of the window, you will be having another kind of window level objects, array of frames. On top of the window only, you will be having the one more object called a location object. See, whenever you are trying to working with the location related applications. Okay, for example, you are working with maps, you are working with the Ola kind of application, and the navigation routes we need to mention. For the navigation routes and all, you need to find out the location for that. Latitude, longitude values you have to observe. So those particular values are basically finding from the location object. Location object is basically available on top of the window. First of all, you need to recognize the window. Then only we can able to recognize the multiple kind of location values and all. And one more thing is window having the history object and window having the navigator object. Navigator object is navigating one place to another place, and it is giving some paths and all. Or one page to another page moving procedures also it is actually able to register with. And coming to the document is the most important thing here. On top of the document, you will be having the array of objects. See, now this is very important thing. Now this is very, very important thing. For example, you will be having a similar name of elements. You will be having similar name of elements. All the similar name of elements are storing in one array. On top of the document, all similar name of elements are going to be storing in one array. It means what? For example, I have multiple H1s. On top of the document, I have multiple H1s. So now my requirement is I want to access H1s from HTML to JavaScript. I want to access H1s from HTML to JavaScript. Whenever you want to access H1s from HTML to JavaScript, first of all, understand one thing. This document recognizing all the H1s inside the array. Not a single value, not a single value. It is treating similar name of elements are array. Similar name of classes also array. But IDs are unique. ID is the identifier. Identifier is unique. Unique value. For every element, ID is different. So ID should not be similar value. ID is unique value for every element. But similar name of classes are going to be storing in one array. Similar name of classes are also going to be storing in one array. ID is unique. ID is different. Got my point? So when I come to the next, mixed concept, how to access elements, how to access classes, how to access ID, then you can able to understand how these elements are going to be storing in one array. You have to treat like a document is storing, a document is maintaining all similar name of elements in one array. On top of your document, for example, you will be having 4 images. These 4 images are storing in one array, one bucket. You have 2 forms. These 2 forms are storing in one array. You have 2 tables. 2 tables are storing in one array. One H1 throughout the document, one H1 is there. Even single H1 also storing in array. Even single element also treating as array. But whenever you call like a ID, ID is inequal. When you call like a class, classes also array. Imagine or remember one thing, document is going to be treating similar name of elements are going to be storing in one array. Similar name of classes are going to be storing in one array, but IDs are going to be unique. Whenever you define ID, then only it is unique. When you are not defining the ID, it is treating as array element. Even you are defining classes, even classes also array of elements. But whenever you define some ID property, then only it is unique. You can able to access like unique element. Okay, so when I come to the program, I will explain about it. So don't worry about it. Now the immediate topic, important topic, how to access elements, classes, and ID from HTML to JavaScript. This is the important topic we have to discuss now. How to access elements, classes, and ID from HTML to JavaScript. I told you, HTML is something like a document. HTML is something like a document. Inside the document, all the similar elements are going to be storing in one array. It means, for example, I have multiple H1s. I have multiple H1s. All these H1s are going to be storing in one array. I have multiple forms and okay, you will be having multiple form, comma, form, comma, form. How many forms you have? We don't care, but all the forms are going to be storing in one array. I have multiple images, for example, img, comma, img, comma, img. Like this, all images are going to be storing in one array. Getting my point? All H1s are storing in one array. All forms are going to be storing in one array. All images are going to be storing in one array. For example, there is a class name called red. Red is a class name. Okay, red is a class name. Class name is my custom name. I can define any name for element as a class. Class is a kind of nickname. So I can provide all the similar name of classes in one array. All the similar name of elements in one array. For example, there is a class called Apple. I have a number of Apple classes are there. All Apple classes are going to be storing in one array. I have a class name called book. Okay, book, comma, book, comma, book. All the similar name of classes are going to be storing in one array. Okay, so class name is user defined name. Class name is what? User defined name. All similar name of all similar names of classes are going to store in array. All similar name of elements also name of elements also are storing in array. So you need to get understand array is going to be having some index. If you want to access the elements from array, array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, something like this. Array index starts with what? Array index starts with 0. You need to recognize it. And array length starts with 1. Length means the count of elements. How many number of elements in the array we want to find out. Number of elements means 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to find out from 1. But whenever you want to access the value, first element treating as array of 0. Second element is treating as array of 1. Remember. So that is the one thing. And one more thing, ID is unique. ID is unique. No array. And we cannot provide same ID name for multiple two or more elements. We cannot provide same ID name for two or more elements. We cannot able to provide the same name or same name for the two or more elements. Single name, unique name for ID. Remember it. Now let's move to the first point. What is the first point here? How to access elements. How to access elements. Now in the case of HTML, for example, I will be having index.html. I will be having index.html. So inside the index.html, I have two H1s. One is web development and another H1 mon stack applications. Okay. How many H1s are there inside the HTML? Inside the HTML, how many elements are there? Tell me how many elements are there inside the HTML? Inside the HTML, I have two elements now. Okay, what my requirement is, I want to change inner text for the first H1. Inner text is what for the first H1 now? Web development. I want to change that web development to smartlearn, for example. Okay, whenever I want to change that web development to smartlearn. Now I will go to the JS file, index.js. Let me go to the JS file. Okay, what my requirement is, I want to access the first H1 first. How to access the first H1? Very important. Document dot. But in CSS, directly you can specify the name of the element. Directly you can specify the name of the element in the selector as a selector, element selector. But here it is not a kind of a selector concept. Here it is not kind of selector concept. In CSS, it is a selector. You can access by the name of the element H1. When you say H1 and curly braces, you can write down the properties of the CSS. I can write color, I can give the font style, all these things. But here it in this case, it is not possible. Here it is this case, we have to access by the document. Document in JavaScript case, your HTML, total HTML treating as a document. Before the document, you will be having the window, we will be having the browser, but we are not touching the window and browser right now. We are actually talking about the document. I want to access the element from the document level. Document is one container, one top level container. So on top level container, we have the number of elements like H1s. My requirement is I want to access the H1 from the document. Document dot. Next, get elements by tag name. So here, this is camel case. Here, this is camel case. This syntax you have to remember. There is no option. There is no option. You have to remember it. Even a single small mistake you did, automatically you are getting the error. Even G cannot give as capital letter. Even E cannot give as a small letter. And B cannot give as a small letter. T cannot give as a small letter. N cannot give as a small letter. It is called a camel case. First letter is smaller. Remaining all the letters are in capitals. Remaining middle breaks are capitals. This is a method name. What is the method name here? Get elements by tag name. What is the name of the tag? You have to specify the name of the tag inside. What is the name of the tag? Name of the tag is H1. And H1 of 0. I want to access the first element, right? I want to access the first element. The first element I'm trying to accessing. But now my requirement is I want to change the inner text of the first HTML. Whenever you want to change the inner text for that, you need to give the inner HTML. I want to change that inner HTML as smartlearn. That's all enough. That's all enough. The first element got changed. The first element by default is web development. But I'm trying to working with that. First of all, I'm accessing the element. I'm making some manipulation. I'm doing some operation on that. What is my operation now? My operation is very simple operation. I want to change the inner text of the element. So for that particular operation, I want to access the element. Without accessing the element, I cannot able to do the text change. The first important thing is I need to access the element. Then only I can able to change the value for that. I can able to change the inner text for that. Am I clear? So that is the first thing. So second element. For second element, I want to change inner HTML as Srinivas. Tell me. No. Document dot again. Get elements. Elements. I'm talking about method elements here, not element. Why? Because a plural. All similar name of elements are plural. Plural nothing but it is array. Document is treating like elements, not element. Document is treating like elements, not element. Again, document dot get elements by tag name. Again, tag name. Name of the tag again. Name of the tag again h1. Okay. Of yes, exactly. Now the second element. Second element is treating as one. Again, dot inner HTML. Sir, this is again camel case. Inner small letters. HTML is capital. Yes, compulsory. So inner is small and HTML is capital. Inner HTML. So now my value is something like that's all. You can give a single quotes or you can give double quotes for the string. Now this is basically a string. I can provide a single quotes or I can provide a double quotes. Both will work out. Remember, this is very, very important. How to access elements, how to access classes, how to access ID. Very, very important. The first important thing we have to understand, if you want to perform any kind of operation, for example, if you want to perform event, if you want to change the inner text, or if you want to change color from JavaScript, if you want to do the mouse over operation, if you want to change the image for that, whatever the operation you want to perform on the top of the document, you have to access it first. Then only you can try to do an operation. Now I am doing one simple DOM operation. Now I am doing one simple DOM operation. What operation is? I want to change the inner text of the element. Am I clear? So for example, I have a H2 here. H2. So H2 is full stack. H2 is full stack. Now I want to change full stack to MERN stack. Or I want to change full stack to MERN stack. Tell me how to do that. Tell me. So you have to tell me that document dot get elements by no tag. I don't have any ID for that. ID. I'm not declaring any ID. I'm not declaring any class for the H2. Elements by tag name. Name of the tag is H2. This time it is H2. H2 of 0. Even you have single element treating as 0. So JavaScript always treating like your elements are in one array. Even it is single element, it is 0th element. I have multiple H2s in the HTML. I don't have multiple HTMLs in my HTML. I have a single H2, but it is treating like a 0. So document.get elements by tag name H2 of 0 dot inner HTML. Exactly. So inner HTML is equal to, I want to change to MERN stack. That's it. This is a way of writing your code. Am I clear? So can I take the same code for accessing elements? Access elements dot HTML. 3 elements are there. Can I write a script now? Now tell me access elements. Same code. I want to copy paste all the code from this. This is nodes, but this is a program. This is a program to execute. I want to see the output in the browser, right? When you want to see the output in the browser, first of all, put it into the HTML. Then only you can able to render this HTML to the browser. Now I can able to render this HTML to the browser. Let me execute to the browser. So open in the browser. Now you can see. Now you can see what is your written. What you are written in the HTML. You written in the HTML is web development. After that, mon stack applications. After that, full stack. Totally that was converted to SmartLearn Srinivas mon stack. How this is possible? Some element text, some element inner text is changing because of your element is accessing and your element is getting changing with your particular script operation. And this particular script operation is called a DOM operation. This is one DOM operation. What DOM operation we are performing? One DOM operation we are performing. What DOM operation we are doing now? One DOM operation we are doing. Something like inner text change. For inner text change, what is the method we have to use? No. Inner HTML. Inner HTML. Inner HTML. We have to assign the inner HTML for that. Inner HTML. What inner HTML you want, you can do that change. Remember this one is important. This is case sensitive. This is from JavaScript. This is I'm not writing like inner HTML. This is JavaScript recommendation. And this method also JavaScript recommendation. I'm not doing anything. Am I clear? This much. The next concept is access classes. Access classes. How to access classes? All similar name of classes. All similar name of classes are going to store in one array. Now write down index.html. Write down index.html. I need to define some classes. H1, hello. H2 or H1 again. How are you? Now this H1, I should be have some class called smart. Class called smart. Same here, class called smart. Now I don't care about the element name. This is H3. Now I don't care about the element name. Now I am caring about the class name. Now I am caring about the class name. So if I am caring about the class name, now tell me, I want to access the classes now. Okay, how to access the class? Document dot, same concept. Get elements by class name. Name of the class. What is the name of the class? Smart. Smart of dot inner HTML is equal to something like a learn. Next, second element. Second element. What is the second element? Smart of inner HTML. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Now need to change to learn JavaScript. Hello and how are you? Need to change to learn and JavaScript. Now this time I'm not working with the tag names. I am working with the class names. But similar name of class. Smart and smart. 2 times smart and smart is available. 2 times smart and smart is available. Yes. Now take. Same. You can give these two. Now script. Same script. You can keep it same script here. So take the script here. Access class you can keep here. Now tell me. You right click on this, open in the browser. After save the program. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you? Need to change to. No. Mistake is there. What is the mistake? We don't understand the mistake. Go to the inspector. Go to the inspector. You have the issue. Where is the issue? Uncaught type error. What is the error? You can find out the error. Uncaught type error. Document dot get elements by class name is not a function. It is not a function. It is not treating as a function. JavaScript is not recognizing this function. Why? Where the spell mistake? Huh? And should be capital, exactly. So and should be capital. So this is case sensitive. I already told. It is clearly saying, console is clearly saying your error. Console is clearly saying your error. So console is giving the output as it is like HTML, but it is not working as JavaScript. It is not doing a DOM operation through the JavaScript. Some problem is there. You have to rectify the problems. You have to rectify the problems through the console. That is the major benefit of the console. Now I'm doing some mistake, right? So by the mistake, so I'm not doing the change here. So I'm as it is keeping the second one as small n. Now do refresh. Now do refresh. Learn is coming, but how are you is not changing. Learn is coming, but how are you is not changing. But now error got skipped into the fifth line to sixth line. Fifth line, I don't have any issue. It is working fine. It is called interpreted programming. Program is working, program is running, some learn got updated, something is working, some JavaScript code is working. But when you go to the compile based programming, if you did not solve the errors, it will not run the program at least. You have to clear all the issues, then only you have to compile the program. Then only you can execute the program. So here in this case, only the problem with the how are you line. The problem is not there in the learn line. Now you have to do the change. Second one also I need to change to capital N. Then you can see the output. So learn is there, JavaScript. Learn is there, JavaScript is there. So this is the way of accessing your classes. Am I clear? Okay, let me do one thing. So can I write learn as a class? Smart is one class, learn is another class. When you provide a space, between the class and class is one, smart is one class, learn is one class. Smart is one class, learn is one class. Okay, let me access the learn now. How to access the learn? Document dot get elements by class name. Name of the class is. How many learn classes available there? Only one. 0 dot. Okay, inner HTML is equal to Srinivas. Sometime it was updated with the learn method. Sometime it was updated with the learn text. Now I want to update with the Srinivas text. Is it possible? It will override. No problem. So first time it is working with learn update. See, by default something is hello. Hello is there from the HTML. Hello already updated with learn in the 5th line. But learn again updated with the Srinivas in the 8th line. Now check it out. Output. What is the output of this? Again, learn again updated with the. Okay. Now I want to update again this. So I have two classes with the same element, Andy. I have two classes with the same element. Again, this was updated with the Srini. Is it possible? You can play with the JavaScript. You can play with the JavaScript. You are playing with the JavaScript. I'm updating through the smart. I'm updating through the learn. Sometimes I'm updating with the smart class. Sometimes I'm updating with the learn class. So both are different classes. Smart is one class, learn is one class inside the particular element. So I can able to utilize any class. But when you are using the class, in which specification location it is available, you have to identify. Is it available in the 0th section or it is available in the 1 section? Something like location you need to identify first. Am I clear? So that's all for the elements, sorry, classes and elements. Now try to understand about the ID. ID from HTML to now index.html. Go with index.html. Just go like this. Index.html. So I'm trying to writing one hello. Yes. H2. How are you? Now I should specify some ID. Am I right? ID is equal to smart. ID is equal to learner. One is smart, one is learn. I have two IDs, separate. I have two IDs, separate. Now write down the script. Write down the script. Tell me, document dot. Get elements element. This time it is not plural. This time it is singular. You cannot provide multiple IDs, multiple name of multiple IDs with the same element. So previously in the case of classes, I can able to provide the two classes, smart and learn, in the same class attribute. But this time I cannot provide multiple ID names for the single element. Or similar ID also I cannot provide for the multiple elements. ID is identity card, your Aadhaar card, for example. Two persons cannot have the same Aadhaar number. And one person cannot have multiple Aadhaar IDs. One person cannot able to have multiple Aadhaar numbers. And same Aadhaar number cannot available for the two persons. You and me have same ID, Aadhaar ID, not possible. And you have one more Aadhaar ID, not possible. That is the case of ID. But you have the nickname, I have the nickname. Your nickname is Balu, my nickname is Balu. So you are Balu, I am Balu. Balu is Balu. Two balls ఉన్నాయి. No issues. Balu of 0, Balu of 1. Possibility is there. I am Srinivas, you are Srinivas. Two Srinivasas in the classroom. Who is Srinivas? And there are multiple Srinivasas available in the same name. With the same name, multiple persons are there. Same Vaibhavis, number of Vaibhavis are there. Number of Rakesh. Rajesh. Number of Rajesh people are there. Number of Srinivas people are there. Number of nicknames are there. Bunny, number of Bunnies are there. Number of Chintus are there. Number of Pandus are there. But number of ID cards, number of ID numbers, not possible. Number of Aadhaar numbers, single, unique. Everybody have unique Aadhaar. In this case, that is the why reason the element by ID. JavaScript itself, it is giving the method is get element by ID. That's it, not elements. Remember, in the case of accessing elements, you can go with the plural. In the case of accessing classes, you can go with the plural. In the case of ID, don't go with the plural, only go with the single value or singular value. ID. What is ID name? Smart. Okay, now tell me, this need to have index. Asle array ne ledu. There is no array. If there is no array, there is no multiple elements. Why index required? Why index needed? Directly you can give the dot inner HTML. That's it. Now again document dot get element by ID. And one is a smart, one is a learn. And again learn also dot inner Srini. Okay, so let me copy this. Access ID dot. Ante kada. That's all. Some issue is there. Some error is coming. Oh my God, slash is missing. Element is not closing properly. Browser. Srinivas, Srini. Both are working. Okay. You may have the simple issue. For example, Srinivas. Okay, I have a smart and I have a learning. One ID is called smart. I'm trying to providing multiple ID names. I'm trying to providing multiple ID names. Okay, so one is a smart, one is a learn. Okay, with the smart I am doing Srinivas, with the learn I am doing what? Which will execute. What is the output of this program? This kind of assignments you will be having in the real time. Nothing is nothing is working. Your ID name is not correct. ID names I am giving two names. Okay, let me give this. Treat like this is ID. Now this time treat like this is ID. Now what is output? Smart learn. What is the issue? Oh my God. Okay. I will show the issue. Smart is not there, but you're trying to providing for smart. You're trying to updating with smart. Smart is not available. That is why reason it is actually showing the issue. Cannot cannot set properties of null. You cannot able to set a property as null. Okay. So you are trying to providing the values for this two now. That is the issue it is giving. So you can just switch off this. You can try to switch off this. The first line itself it is giving error. That is a now Srini is okay. Now we have to understand some rules and regulations of the class names and ID names. If you want to go with the notes, class name and ID name. Should not start with a number. Whatever the class name, first of all, class name and ID name both are custom defined names. Class name, ID name are custom defined names. Custom defined names means you can define your own name. Both are custom defined names. You can provide your own names. You can give like a apple, banana, orange, grapes, whatever it is. And you can give red, green, blue kind of thing. Whatever the names of the classes you can provide, whatever the names of IDs you can provide. But the one thing you have to understand, class name, ID name, custom defined names. Class name, ID name should not start with the number. And one more important thing, class name, ID name should not have space. Should not have space. Space తీసుకోదండి. And one more thing, class name, ID name should not contain any special characters. Contain any special underscore. I have allowed. contain underscore and hyphen check చేద్దాం. I don't know. Yeah, hyphen also allowed. Hyphen and underscore. Contain underscore and hyphen. So, now, and one more thing, class name, ID name should not a web keyword or identifier. It is not like a class. It is not like ID. ID name, ID and then class and your attribute name is class and your name is also class. That would not be written, but should be give a lot of issues in the real time. Sometime when you go with the program. So let me show this one. I'll take a rules program. Okay, so rules. For this, I want. Okay. Let me do one thing. For that, I want to check it out with the console directly. Inspector. I am opening the inspector and I'm opening with the console here. Inspector and console. Okay. So document dot get the issue. Well, let me do one thing. Can I go with JSBin? JSBin.com online editor, online JavaScript editor, where you can do changes and all. So it is immediately affected with this. So I can switch off this one, and I want to make it so, and I want only uh, JavaScript here in the body. I should take some H1. Can I take H1 here? Okay. Can I provide some class for this? One Srini. One Srini sir. One Srini is my class name. One Srini is my class name. So let's write some JavaScript for that. Document dot we are in JavaScript now. Elements. Okay. Element by ID. Name of the ID is class name. Name of the class. Srinivas. I should get output is Srinivas, but it is not coming. It is not coming. The output is there. I'll do one thing. Switch off the JavaScript. Go with the body. Hello. For this hello, I'm using a class called one red. For this class, dot one red. Is it working? One red. This class name is one red. How to access class? ఇంకా చెప్పలేదు చెప్పలేదు అది సిఎస్ఎస్ మిస్ చేసి వస్తుంది అప్పుడు సరే లెట్ మీ రైట్ డౌన్ స్క్రిప్ట్ అవదు క్లాస్ నేమే తప్పించినాను Should not start with the numbers. That's what I'm saying. అందుకే ఈ ప్రోగ్రామ్ రాస్తుంది. That is the why reason I'm writing this. Class name is 100 dot inner HTML is equal to string. Not working. Is it working here? Okay, 100 of working. Working. It is working for JavaScript. It is not working for CSS. It is working for JavaScript, but it will not work for CSS. Okay, it is working for JavaScript. Special characters also take. Okay, no spaces. Spaces is the తీసుకోదు. Okay, so ఇది మనం చేయొచ్చు. ఇది తీసేయచ్చు ఇక్కడ మనం. ఈ లైన్ తీసేయచ్చు. Should contain. Okay, ఇది కూడా తీసేయచ్చు. ఏముంది అన్ని పని చేస్తున్నాయి కదా. అన్ని పని చేస్తున్నాయి. బట్ ఇది పెట్టాలి. Keywords identifiers వాడద్దు. We do not use keywords and identifiers, and start with the number also. Find, I think also inside the JavaScript పని చేస్తా అనుకుంటా. But CSS it will not work. I'm actually thinking like CSS, but it is in JavaScript it is working. It is working. JavaScript లో పని చేస్తుంది, but ఈ లైన్ కూడా తీసేయచ్చు. But when we are writing CSS, then I will tell. CSS లో కథ వేరు. CSS లో అలో చేయదు. Okay, so JavaScript లో okay fine. But spaces తీసుకోదు. When I specify the space, for example చెప్పాను కదా smart, and here the class name is smartlearn. తీసుకుంటుందా? స్పేస్ తీసుకుంటుంది అంటే ఇది కూడా అలాగే వస్తుంది. క్లాస్ నేమ్ తీసుకుంటుంది, ఐడి తీసుకుంటుందా? ఐడికి వేరే రూల్స్ ఉంటాయి, క్లాస్కి వేరే రూల్స్ ఉంటాయి. సెకండ్. Okay, so can I change this to ID? That element by ID. So when I say ID, yeah, smartlearn space in space paniyatledu. So ID should not give the space, and you cannot provide the multiple names for the ID. That is a very important thing we need to understand. Okay, now can I go with the same program? Where is this one? Document.getElement by ID. ID is smartlearn now. So when you provide a smart space learn, it will not recognize. It will not give the output for us. So you have to go through the how to access elements, how to access classes, how to access ID with multiple examples practice. Multiple practice చేయండి.